everyone. And we're getting closer and closer and closer to the end of the year, faster and faster and faster. We are live on Facebook, so I do want to say hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We're going to share the show later on. My first guest has been on with me now, we know, over 4 years, starting in November. And she is, I love her. Thank you so much for being so supportive to me and the show. I have with me Anna Von Straussenburg. She's the owner of Anna Von Straussenburg, CPA. Anna, you said that you wanted to talk about a few things, but first of all, you know, I know we're coming down to the end of the year, and people think that, that accounting and bookkeeping and, getting somebody who does your taxes is just one time a year. That's not true, is it?
Oh, no, we work all year long. And
sort of like Santa.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on the show, by the way. But yes, we are busy all year round because I like to help people, especially business owners, do projections of where they stand in their taxes this time of year, so that if there is anything they want to do to make a change, some things that might be a little late for, like, you got to do retirement planning a little bit earlier in the year, but if you need that new piece of equipment, this might be the time to buy it. A lot of people will put it off. They really need a new truck, or they really need a new, widget or whatever. And so, they'll, I don't know if I want to do it now or wait. And so then we give them the information to make that decision.
Now, I want you to hear a little bit about Anna. First of all, you're all about excellence and integrity in accounting, and this is so important to you. I want you to explain to everybody why that is.
Well, I do the best I can because I stand by my work. So if there's a mistake that happens and you incur a penalty, I pay the penalty. I always stand by my work. I try to do the best I can. I'm human, and sometimes it's on the client. They don't give me. I ask the right questions, but if they don't give me the right answers, I can only do what I can do. But if it's my mistake, I stand by that. And
well, also, I have to say this about you, okay? If there was a picture in the dictionary under integrity, Anna's would be there. She's one of them. There'd be a lot of them, but Anna, you'd be definitely there because you're all about that.
Yeah, I believe in being ethical. I believe in being honest and transparent, and that's the way I just live my life. I remember when I was a kid, my mom, I had told some little lie as a kid, and my mom says, "It does no use to lie. The truth will always out." And you know what? That has stuck with me, and it's become who I am. I don't tell a lie. I couldn't tell a lie to save my life. I hope nobody ever has a gun to my head where I have to lie, because I will probably do very badly at it.
I do want to also talk a bit about how you are with your clients. This is so important. Not only is she all about excellence and integrity in accounting, but Anna takes on every single one of your clients as family. It's like you become part of the Anna family.
Yes, I do my best to get to know my clients, because the more I know their business, the better I can help them. I can ask better questions. And, and I'm really there for them. And a lot of my clients have been with me for well over 20 years. As long as I've been in business here in Arizona, they've been clients, and they do feel like family. And, they'll often call me and say, "Hey, we got a crisis in the family, somebody's sick," or this or that. They'll share their information with me because they know that I'll be there to help them out and help them with any tax consequences of those problems. So, we don't wish problems on clients, but sometimes it's good things. Sometimes they'll have a baby and they call me, and
that's not a problem, Anna.
That's a good thing.
That's a good problem. Now, you know what?
Yeah.
I also want to tell them also something that you do that I don't think very many CPAs do. You'll actually sometimes go to the client's business to learn more about them, which is not very often. That doesn't happen often.
No, I do that. My boss that I bought the business from, he came from an audit background, and I also came from California, where I had to do some audit work, and that's what auditors do. One of the things they do is they go visit the client as part of the audit. Well, we kind of carried that into our business because we feel like we could service our clients better by knowing them better.
By knowing them really better. That's awesome that they do that. Now, I want you to get down your pen, paper and pencil and write this down, because tax season is here. Don't think it just comes in April. It doesn't. Their phone number to call is 480-964-4030. That's 480-964-4030. She does free consultations. She works nationwide. She's rated with the Better Business Bureau, and her website is ArizonaCPAs.com. Now today you wanted to talk a little bit about updates on the BOI and tell everybody what that is.
The BOI is the Beneficial Owner Information Reporting that is required under the
FIN?
from the FinCEN, yeah, and it's the Corporate Transparency Act that has created that. Well, the new information is that there has been a lawsuit filed that it's unconstitutional, and the courts have filed an injunction. So as of right now, it's on hold. That said, you still can do it if you want to, or you can even just get ready, and when it goes back online, when they say, hey, yes, you have to do it, then you're ready and you can do it quickly. It actually doesn't take a long time. I did one for myself. It wasn't that hard. Luckily I didn't have any computer problems. I know some people that did. But,
I did.
Yeah.
I called you.
Yeah, anyway, but, I just want people to be aware of it, and they can make their decision whether they want to do it now or hold off and wait and see what the court decides.
I think what's most important is what I found out through, I think we're talking to you, is that you might have more than one LLC, and it's important that you find that out, because they all have to be done. Is that correct?
Yes, they all have to be done. So a lot of people are trying to make their LLCs inactive, but even if it was still registered as an LLC as of January 1st, 2024, you still have to file it. But so a lot of people are filing it and then running to the Corporation Commission and making them inactive so they don't have to do it in the future.
Oh, well,
So-
listen, folks, it's something that's come up, but they put a hold on it for right
Yep.
now. That is good to know, and that's what I love about the show, is it's that all of the information that people get from listening to this, and maybe you don't know, maybe you didn't know that they put it on hold. I don't think that they were, I don't know how people were finding out that they put it on hold.
Yeah, well, I got lucky. One of my clients has a law firm that does some work for them, and I'm on their email list, and they actually sent me an email, and I thought, oh, wow, here's some new information I can share with the public.
And it's good to be able to hear this. Now, let me just say this too. One thing that I know about Anna, if you're having any issues with anything like that, she's willing to help in any ways that she can. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk further about some of the different alerts. We're going to talk about spammy scammy. That's important to talk about this time of the year too. And year end, with a lot of people right now don't realize that there's still things that you could do right now to plan for your taxes. Again, her phone number to call, it's 480-964-4030. That's 480-964-4030. She does free consultations. She does second opinions all the time. She also works nationwide, and she's rated with the Better Business Bureau. Check her out on her website. She's all about excellence and integrity in accounting. It is ArizonaCPAs.com. We're still live in the room.
Yeah.
Okay, so with these, let's talk about scammy, and then we'll come back and talk about more.
Well, yeah, there's been a lot of newsletters from the IRS, warning people, and even, there's BOI, there's people pretending to be the FinCEN and say, hey, you have to file this and there's a fee for it. There's also third-party providers. There are some that, are trying to charge huge amounts or just pretend to be third-party providers to get people's information. So I actually applied to be a third-party provider, so I'm waiting to hear about that, because I have a couple clients that have situations where, one of them, the guy's wife has cancer, and so a couple of people have asked me to do it, and it's not something I'm making a main part of my practice, but for those who really need help, I have one client who's kind of elderly, and has vision problems, so I'll probably do it for him, so.
Yeah, but I mean, that's really sad. This is one thing that happens quite a lot when things like this come about.
Oh.
The people who are scammers, they jump on it right
Oh,
away.
yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, and we just have to constantly be diligent.
And you don't know. How
Don't
would
click
you
on
know?
those emails,
Most people do though.
Oh.
A lot of people do. I know.
I open them, but I never click on any links
Links on
inside,
them.
yeah.
Right. It's hard, especially when you're older that you don't know, and and things look so real today.
Yeah.
You know.
I know the African prince did not give you $6 million or $60 million.
Really? I wouldn't spent it all already.
I know, I get those things.
On 3 things at the market.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah, it's
I
crazy
know.
out there. But for you, for this time of the year, people need to start to also think about, the year-end tax, right?
Oh,
But
yeah.
people don't think about that. They wait and they lose out, I think, on a lot of the tax planning, which we'll talk about a little bit later, too. Because there are some write-offs that people can still get.
Yeah. Like, make charitable contributions up to the end.
I call this guy Cousin It. I think for me, that what I think is so important is for people to hear this information out there, and get the right information. So welcome back, everyone. We're talking with Anna Von Straussenburg, and she's the owner of Anna Von Straussenburg CPA. She's all about excellence and integrity in accounting. At the break, we were talking a little about spammy, scammy, and I know that this is a time of the year too where a lot of scammers come out. Not all, I know all year, but especially around this time of year. And you were mentioning a couple of them. Let's talk a little bit about them.
Well, there's a lot of scammers coming out pretending to be preparers for the BOI. That's something I've gotten some alerts on from the IRS and other websites. And what they're doing is they're not going to prepare it. They just want your information, because you have to give a lot of personal details on that reporting. So they want to get your personal information so they can steal your identity. So the other thing is the IRS is warning, you're never going to get an email or a phone call from the IRS asking you for information, but people still fall for that. Or they're not going to say, go get a gift card to pay your tax bill. But it's surprising that how many people fall for that.
I know, it's sad.
And it's sad. They do have another thing. If you fear that you're going to have a problem with your identity, you can apply now for what they call an IP PIN, which stands for, Identity Protection, Personal Identification Number. That's a mouthful. Anyway, but you can apply for that now. It used to be that the IRS would assign it to people who've had identity, theft, and so you can do it to protect yourself proactively. And some people have just randomly gotten them.
Yeah, I don't know, how do they get them? How do they do that? Do they go up onto the,
They go up onto irs.gov, and there should be a link there that you can apply for an IP PIN.
Now, if you
So-
have any questions, I'm sure that Anna would be happy to help you with that. Again, all about being careful, especially this time of the year, and some of these things look very, very, very official,
Yep.
and they're not always.
And by the way, if you do get an IP PIN, they'll give you a new one every year. So you have to watch for it in the mail, because it comes in January.
Yeah, you gotta hold on to
Yeah.
it. If you don't, you could be in a lot of trouble,
Yeah,
because I don't
'cause-
think you can get back up onto the
Well,
site if you don't know
can
it.
get back onto the site, but you can't file your tax return without it.
Oh, that's even
Because
worse.
they wanna make sure that scammers aren't trying to file a tax return using your social security number and getting a refund and then causing a problem that way. So, they're trying to do that, cause that's one of the ways that, people are using information as they're filing fraudulent returns claiming big refunds.
Mhm.
So,
It's really scary out there.
Yeah.
Main thing that you wanna do is be aware, and when you hear things like this, maybe it's you or someone that you know, tell them about it, because getting the word out about it is so important.
yeah, and even if you get a text message or an email from your bank account, don't click on the links. Go to your bank website, go to your app on your phone. Most people have them downloaded on their phone. Don't call the number in an email or a text message, because you don't know for sure if that's the right number. And you might just be calling a scammer and giving him all your information. So I always tell people, go to your bank's website that you've logged into before, or go to your app on your phone. I think most people have those nowadays, and that's the best way to get the number for your bank and call them and say, hey, was this alert legitimate? Was it from you, or is this just a scam?
If it's, I don't care who it's from, if you have a question about it, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. Yeah.
And most things that come into you, check them, check those emails, where they're coming
Yeah.
from as well. That's very important, and sometimes they're tricky. It might be just one little letter spelled differently, and
Yeah.
the next thing you know, you could open up something, and if you go up onto those links, you can get
Yeah.
yourself
And-
into
and
crazy trouble.
one thing to do is to make sure that if you look at the email and they just say, dear customer, they don't use your name, that's a clue.
That's a tall tale sign.
Yep,
It's trouble.
yep, yep.
And I've got people in here
Don't-
shaking their head.
Don't fall victim to the scammers.
No. Now, you can also call Anna. She's here to help for anything, for anyone, especially when it comes to your tax preparation, which we're going to talk about that right now. Year-end tax planning.
Well, there are things you can do. If you have a business, you can always, buy more assets for your business. It's good to plan for doing a retirement plan. Some of them have to be in place by a certain time in the year, but there's some that you can still do now. For individuals, you can contribute to an IRA or Roth. If you need the deduction, do a traditional or Roth IRA. Those have to be done before the end of the year. Or actually, some of them can be done now up until April 15th, but you're better off doing the contributions before the end of the year. You can also contribute to Arizona tax credits. There's a number of credits out there. There's a school tuition credit, public school tax credit, and charitable giving credit to charitable organizations that meet certain qualifications. And they're all up there on the Arizona Department of Revenue website. It's AZDOR .gov, I believe. And there's lists of organizations that qualify. That's places like the United Food Bank, the St. Mary's Food Bank, different kinds of organizations that provide help to the community, to people who are in need.
And so you can also go up onto that website. You can also talk to Anna about it. Her phone number is 480-964-4030. That's 480-964-4030. Also, I wanted to just talk a little bit about you back. I'm going to reel it back in again from the beginning. And I want to talk about how you also like to work on complicated returns.
Yeah, I've had some complicated clients in the past, and so I've done many multi-state returns, sometimes up to 20 different states. And so I've really, kind of cut my teeth on those returns and really learned a lot. And I've come to realize that I really like doing that, and I feel that that's where I can be the most help to people.
Also, real estate, you like to talk
Real estate?
Let's talk a little bit about that too.
Yeah, I have a number of clients in real estate, and it's kind of something, it's a little bit of a passion of mine. So So I enjoy that, and I know all the ins and outs about that.
Also, for people who own more than one business or business that live in dual states, also
Yeah.
important to know.
Yeah, people who have multi-businesses, there's always some complications, and also, people who work for maybe bigger corporations that get incentive stock options and things like that. There's special ways to deal with them so that you don't pay too much tax. A lot of people that have come to me with those, and they show me their prior tax returns, I've said, you know what, you pay too much in tax.
And how many times have people that have done them on their own tax return, have you gotten money back for them because they saw the mistakes that they made?
I would say 99% of the time.
Listen to that.
I did have one client blew my record. She came to me because she was getting notices. She tried to do her own tax return and left a bunch of income off. So I couldn't save her money, but I got her out of trouble with the IRS.
Right, but there's a lot of people out there that do try and do it on your own. Don't try and do it on your own. That is not a good idea. Also, people think that they need to have a big business or a lot of money to use a CPA, and that's not the case.
No, I've worked with businesses right from the start, and I've helped people kind of grow their business. We corrected errors in their books where they got finally information that really mattered, because we have one client, his inventory was a mess, which was causing his books to look, like he was making more money than he was. And once we corrected the problem, he says, well, now I see where I need to make some changes.
And you've gotten people to actually grow their businesses because of that.
Yes, that's true, because they had the information to make good decisions and see where they were maybe getting the best growth, and they concentrated their efforts in that area.
And some people don't realize this, but Anna can also help people who are in trouble with the IRS. You had mentioned that earlier, but you can help with that, and it's always better to have someone else do that for you folks, not yourselves.
Yes, and from everything I've ever heard, it's better for the CPA or your EA or whatever your tax preparer is to call the IRS on your behalf, because people are emotional and they might say too much.
Yeah, don't say too much. Don't try and do anything on your own. And let me just tell you something. Anna has helped my daughter. You've done a lot of great work for her. And there's a lot of people out there that have even a small business. She loves working with especially startups. You love training them and letting them know about how to work on QuickBooks and how to help you grow your business. It's not just about having your taxes done once a year. That's not what Anna's about. You could call her direct at 480-964-4030. That's 480-964-4030. She does just free consultations. She works nationwide. She does second opinions. You can check her out on her website. It's ArizonaCPAs with an S.com.